Hello, I am alive and live, and in love. How is everyone? Lynn, good morning. Is the sun out? I don't think so, right? Kind of overcast, which is nice. Michael, yes, see, June gloom. It's crazy. Um, which I love. Gosh, I love. I don't know what it is. I just love moisture in the air, heaviness in the air. I don't like to be hot, so that's why. Hi, Carolyn. Um, all right. So how are you all doing? Anything you'd like to focus on? I'll tell you what I was thinking, but I'd love to hear what's going on with you guys. And I know there's a lot of back issues. I thought it would be really nice today to flow with breath. I'd like to do stuff to support the back of the body. And it's really interesting in this class, I stay on the ground a lot, like almost all the time, right? We never stand up. And I think part of that is before the pandemic, this was a very full class. There was like 22 people, which is a maximum I could take in a class because of the space. And there was people in there that had some challenges with standing. And I think I was always so cognizant of making sure that this was for everyone. And so what I would say is that when we are on the ground in our yoga practice, it may seem like it's really gentle, yet whenever you are in a posture, no matter what that is, on the ground, on your tummy, whatever it is, you can find the maximum place to be or the greatest effort in that posture. And that's important to note because when I teach, I go full bore, even on the mellow stuff. I go really deep and I feel it in my body. And then what I feel when I travel and when I go places, like even this morning, I went for a walk and I was with two friends and it was a narrow pathway. So I jumped up on this little ledge to walk like maybe 4 feet. And, that might seem like nothing, but when, especially if you have issues in your body and you're really careful with how you move, when I did it, I thought, wow, like, because it was balance. It was really seriously like a balance beam. I mean, it was a tiny edge, like 4 feet, 4 inches. And I just thought, like, it's all that joint strength, that balance that exists in my joints from doing groundwork, the slow work, like putting in the effort to do the joint strengthening work sometimes seems a little bit like, am I really doing something here? So I don't know if you feel that way. I just wanted to say that because I think it's important that moving your joint through a range of motion and holding in certain postures for in that held position time, you're developing strength. When we are on the ground, managing our breath and coming to the present moment, you're developing your body's ability to come to the present moment, which is a task that will serve you well in all areas of health. And as somebody who runs functional labs on people, and I uncover a lot of issues in the body that lead to a lot of the diseases of today, I see how important parasympathetic nervous system stimulation is for digestion, for healing. And so today, let's really, really be here. Not that you aren't usually, but really I want that to be the focus. So if there's not anything else that anybody would like to say, like any body parts or any certain areas, Martha, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. New Orleans. Oh, wow. There's a New Orleans in Maine. Isn't it interesting? Like all these other names of cities around the world or in the country that exist in other towns. Oh, yeah. That's another thing that's going on right now. Phases of life. Taking care of parents, or maybe parents are not around any longer, and then you get that fun time of taking care of grandkids, which hopefully happens to me, but of course not until my kids are ready, married, settled down, and on their way to being able to support themselves. All right. So let's, oh, wow. Yeah, Martha, I can only imagine. Oh, God. Just everything, like the physical aspects of clearing and cleaning, and then the mental, emotional layers of what that must be like. So, wow. Well, I was wondering about you, so it's good to have you back. All right. So, okay. So for today's practice, we're going to practice yoga because yoga is a connection of the mind and the body. And the goal of yoga is liberation from suffering. Whether that's today, right now, whether that's 10 years from now, so that you have healthy joints, so that you're not in pain, or that you are able to regulate your nervous system so that you manage disease, or whenever you need it, when you have a big life situation and you have to really like get through that situation. It's kind of like, when we give birth, we are taught breathing to get through birth. It's really interesting. Life is like that process of birth throughout our whole lives. So why only learn to breathe when we're giving birth? And then what about those that don't give birth? So really the breath is very, very powerful. We're going to begin the practice today with the breath. We're going to do a systematic body sensing. I'll call out a body part, we'll go to that location, and we'll bring 3 intentional breaths to that location. If I say the knee, you're going to breathe to the knee. Your eyes will be closed, will be on the ground. Bring your awareness to your knee, all of your mind, really visualizing your knee and bringing your breath there. Thigh, whatever it is, and bring your breath there. We're going to do 3 breaths in 3 different locations on our body. Then we're going to move through a beautiful flowing practice. Try to go to your end range of motion, whatever that is for you. Try to stretch and push and pull on your joints as much as you can to keep them healthy. And the more present moment you are, the safer you will stay when you push and pull as much as you can. Because that inner intelligence will say, yes, this is appropriate, or no, this is not appropriate. And so developing that inner deep wisdom in yoga, in Sanskrit, it's called your buddhi. And so your inner buddhi is that inner knowing part of you. We're working on that here. So for today's practice, having a strap and a block and a blanket, and then if you need something else, if you prefer to have a bolster underneath your knees, if you're managing some joint issues in the hips, the low back, or the knees, and you prefer to have something underneath your knees, that will be, nice and supportive. When I was in my journey of having my hip issues before my hip replacement, I had to have something underneath my knees on the ground. I could not lie flat on the ground without something underneath my knees. So do what you need to do for yourself so that this will be enjoyable for you. So we're going to come down onto the ground, put your blanket at the top of your mat, bring yourself onto the ground, reaching your hand away and bringing yourself all the way down. And then arrange yourself so that your blanket is supporting your head and maybe your neck. It may not be touching depending on how much you have it folded. Then take your arms in the ground, push down and lift your rib cage away from the ground so you could slide your shoulder blades closer to your spine. And then let the body weight relax there. Keep the knees bent at first, noticing what you notice. Close your eyes. Let the inner eyeballs turn on. Check in with how you're feeling today. Anything going on today in your body? Does this position you put yourself in bring any tension into the area of the spine? And then push the feet into the ground. Lift your pelvis off the ground and tilt your pelvis back. So you draw the back top edge of your pelvis away from the back lower ribs. You bring the pubis bone towards the lower ribs, activating the core a little bit to get some length in your torso here. And then try to place your lower spine onto the ground, the top edge of the pelvis. Feel your body rocking to the center of the pelvis where your sacrum bone is, the base of your spine. Eyes are closed, and one leg at a time, go slow. Can you lengthen one leg at a time? And how does that feel in your body as you go slow? So don't just throw your bag of bones around. Do this with awareness. Take your other leg, lift the foot off the ground, and you can either slide the heel on the ground or lift the leg off and let the leg go long. Dig your heels, either lift your heels off the ground. You could dig your heels into the ground after you lifted them up, and then see if you could get a little more length in your legs. Let your legs be spread about the distance of the mat. And then check in with your body here. See how this feels. Let your toes relax and flop towards the sides, or maybe even they move away from you. Just notice what happens in your body. Move your legs into a position where you feel the most comfortable. And then take your hands out to the side, up to you if you want a little bit of a stretch to come into the body. You can either be down alongside your body, palms are up, or you could be outside, arms are to the side. Or a little higher, so you're getting a little bit of a stretch into the chest and the shoulders. So choose what your body needs or wants right now. Wiggle your jaw to release tension from the jaw. Allow the lips to touch, the back teeth separate. Breathing in the nostrils. Let your awareness go to the back of your body, the part of you that's touching the mat, the blanket, or the floor. Sort of do a systematic body sensing, moving to a different part of the body and directing 3 breaths to the part of the body that I name. Keep your mouth closed, breathing in and out through your nose, and all your awareness goes to the body part that I say. Take a big exhale. Let your awareness go down to your left foot and take 3 deep breaths to your left foot. Bring your awareness to your left ankle. 3 deep breaths. Three breaths to your left knee. Three breaths to your left hip. Three breaths to your right foot. your right ankle, your right knee, your right hip, three breaths to the pelvis, three breaths to your low back, three breaths to your middle back, three breaths to the upper back, three breaths to your left hand, the left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, your right hand, your right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, to the neck, to the back of the head, to the space between your eyebrows. To your nostrils, to your belly, to your heart, feel love energy when you breathe to the heart, the place where we love and are loved. And then notice your body, how it feels. Notice if your body feels heavy on the ground, weightless. Bring your awareness to your nostrils as you inhale. And slowly exhale, let your head slowly, slowly move in one direction. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling in the opposite direction. Inhaling and exhaling. Go slow. Feel your head on the ground. Bring yourself back to center. Inhale, let your toes move towards the side. Keep the heels on the ground. Exhale, roll the toes towards each other. Inhale, toes towards the ground. Exhale, toes towards each other. Go slow, be in your body. See if you could feel your hip joints move. Keep the legs straight. Inhale, letting the feet open. Exhale, toes coming towards each other. Bring your awareness to your fingers as you start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Gently bend the knees. Push your feet into the ground. Lift your pelvis up off the ground. And then place your pelvis back down.
Take your feet really wide, maybe even off the mat and a little away from your body. Close your eyes, feeling and noticing what you notice. Let your arms go out to the side. Bring your awareness to your pelvic floor, the base of your body. Activating, feel yourself contracting towards center and then lifting up towards your heart. You could visualize a strand of pearls that you take hold of the first pearl and then draw up, 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 up to your heart, as if there was a strand of pearls in the center of your body. Take that a little deeper as you activate your entire core on your exhale, flattening your low back into the ground, rocking to the back edge of the pelvis. Feel the stretch in the low back. Inhale, let yourself go back to a neutral. Exhale, contract your pelvic floor and your core. Inhaling into a neutral. Exhale. The contraction happens on the exhale. The inhale, release. On the exhale, contract your pelvic floor and core, flatten your low back, and make small fists with your hands. As you inhale, release the hands, release the body. You're rocking from the tailbone to flattening the pelvis, the top edge onto the ground, and flattening the low back into the ground. Make this be core. All your core is doing this. You inhale, let your low back come away from the ground. You exhale, contract your core and pelvic floor. Lower ribs press towards the spine, activating the diaphragm. Exhale. Inhale. The lower ribs are lined with your diaphragm. On your exhale, press the diaphragm up towards the lungs to press the breath out. Press the lower ribs towards your spine. Flatten the low back. Inhale to fill. Last one. Come back to neutral. Exhale. Inhale, let your knees go towards one side slowly. Eyes are closed. Feel your body stretching. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen your waist. Exhale, pelvic floor, core. Press the diaphragm up to the lungs. Press the lungs back towards the spine. Flatten the low back. Slowly inhale to go the other direction. Activate the pelvic floor and the entire core. Press the diaphragm up to the lungs. Low ribs towards the spine. Keep moving with breath. Close your eyes. Let the leg that's going in towards the middle go to the side and away from you. And go, next time you come to the left, stay to the left. Once you arrive, let your body soften and then add an extra stretch on the right side. Try to push the right hip joint straight up towards the sky. Push the right knee away from you towards the foot part of your mat. Lift the right arm off the ground, flex the wrist, reach the right heel of the hand away from you, and try to stretch and feel that stretch in the right side body. Activate your pelvic floor and core to protect your spine. And breathe to your right side. 3 breaths. Bring yourself up. back up. Take a breath to clear here. Let everything settle. On your next inhale, as you move over to the other side, let the knee that's going into the center move away from you and to the side. Feel that length coming into that side, waist, hip, and maybe even the back. When you arrive, start to stretch yourself a little more, pushing the hip up towards the sky, the knee straight away from you. Contract your pelvic floor and core to protect your low back. Then activate that hand. Reach the hand long, reach out the heel of the hand. Feel the stretch in your body, and now breathe down to the left side. 3 deep, long, slow breaths. Bringing yourself up with an exhale and a core contraction to protect your body. Walk your feet back to center. Draw the knees into the chest. Let's take the right ankle over the left ankle. Reach your head up, reach around the outside of your legs, take hold of your feet. Put the thumb in the arches and the rest of the hand on the top of the foot. Draw the knees towards your body. Pull deeply. Feel a stretch of the glutes, hips, back. Little rocking action. You could try to bring your hands a little higher or separate your feet a little more. Move into different places so you can feel the stretch. There's a nice stretch here in the glutes and in the posterior hip. And then let's switch. So now you're going to take the left leg on top of the right. Looking up can be helpful to reach around to take hold of the feet. Separate the feet from each other. Hold on to the arch in the top of the foot. And then press the legs towards your body. That'll deepen the stretch. Do what's appropriate for you. Take one more breath. Bringing yourself out. Bring your feet onto the ground. Take the arms overhead. Take the legs long. Go slow here. Because as you lengthen your leg, the psoas muscle, which attaches to the low back and the leg, there's going to be some things that happen to the low back. So especially if you're somebody with low back issues, you need to pay attention to where your legs go. And most of us, or many of us, sit quite often or sit too much. So this muscle is shortened, and we need to have length in this muscle, the psoas. So if you could let your arms go overhead, flip your hands so that they turn towards the wall behind you, reaching out the heel of the hands and reach out the heels. Stretch your body glove. Try to feel yourself pulling your ribs away from your pelvis. And then press the ribs down towards the ground. So they're moving away from the pelvis, but you're not letting them flare out. Still keeping that safety and that support for the low back with the core muscles. And then go ahead and bring yourself all the way back, bending the knees. So we're going to do a little spinal undulation in a bridge posture. This is the back bend. What we need more of in all of our lives is more back bending. So it's better to have no blanket behind your head or to have very minimal blanket. because as we lift the pelvis off the ground and we put the pressure down towards the head and neck, we don't want to put excessive pressure. We don't want the neck to be this position. So if you are able to move your blanket away, try that. If that's too much, you could have a small fold, and then march with your feet, unbend your knees so that your feet come away from the ground. Roll to one side. So you roll to the side a tiny bit. You take the outer edge of your arm, you turn your palm up towards the sky, the thumb down towards the ground, and then you slide that shoulder blade closer to the spine. And on the other side, you do the same thing. It's a very small movement to the side, lifting the arm up and turning that arm external rotation so that the shoulder goes deeper in the socket, the shoulder blades go onto the upper spine. And then take your hands on the floor like a karate chop, pinky edges. Lift your head up, tuck your chin towards your chest. Take an exhale. Flatten your low back into the ground with that exhale. And on the inhale, peel your spine up off the floor. Lift your left hand up, leading with the thumb, palm is in, and turn your head to the right. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Go slow, close your eyes. See if you can articulate each vertebra one at a time. So when we slow down, we can actually try to do that. Flatten the low back, start to peel the spine off one vertebra at a time. And that takes a little effort. You push your feet into the floor, you try to feel that happening in your body. Feel that stretch coming into the front of the body. So don't just push yourself up and down. Close your eyes and try to really articulate your vertebra. Reach your hand long when you come up. One more each side. And then bring yourself down. Bring your knees into your chest. So to relax after a bridge posture or back bending, you could bring the knees in because it'll put the lower back in flexion. Or for some of you, maybe having a lengthened body may be a nicer way to relax. So you choose what feels better for your body. We're going to continue with this back bend. Grab your block, put your block between your knees. Walk your feet closer to your body. Slide your shoulder blades back so that they're closer to the spine. You're very narrow across the top. Lift your head up, tuck your chin towards your chest. Definitely no blanket or almost no blanket underneath your head here. Let's begin by squeezing the block really hard a couple of times. Feel the activation of the inner thigh muscles. Then you're going to activate your core to push your low back into the ground. Squeeze your tushy. Exhale. Inhale. Peel your spine up and away from the ground. Exhale to lower. Start with a contracted tushy. Squeeze your tushy. Squeeze the block. Peel your spine up and away. You're going to go a little higher now. Make sure the weight doesn't come into your head and neck. Feel it. Feel the rib cage moving away. Feel the body weight leaving the floor. And then feel the weight waterfalling towards the upper back. Press your arms into the ground. Get a little higher lift. One more. Stay here. You could bend the elbows if that helps you, or you could keep the arms nice and long. Palms can go flat. Squeeze the block. Push away from the floor strongly, strengthening the back of your body. The arms and the feet. Squeeze the tushy, squeeze the block. Take one more breath. Go slow to come down. Take the block out. Bring the blanket back. Draw your knees into your chest. So we're strengthening the back of the body, so you may feel your back here. So we're going to do another one. You're going to grab your strap and then take your strap and make a loop in your strap. So not too big, but make a loop. And if you don't have the ability to do this with the rings, then tie the strap. Take your feet through the strap. Strap comes to the top so that when you push your legs apart at the top, they stay body distance. And then put your feet on the ground. Move the blanket away from the back of your head. Make yourself narrow across the top. Put your hands down the ground. Lift your hood up, lengthen the back of your neck, tucking your chin towards your chest. Feet are close to your body. Exhale, contract your core, flatten your low back. And as you inhale, peel your spine up and away. Close your eyes. You'll get a little higher here when you have a strap around your legs. Exhale to lower. Make sure when you come up, the weight goes to the upper back area, not into the head and the neck. So you have to bend your spine. Push your heart towards your face. One more. Come up and stay up. Press your arms into the ground. Press your feet into the ground. Press out on the strap. Lengthen your knees away from you. Press your heart towards your face. Press your arms into the ground, feet into the ground. One more breath. Go slow when you bring yourself down. Keep your strap there. Take your blanket behind your head. Draw your knees in. This posture is called bridge. It's a back bend. I think it is one of the most valuable postures in the practice of yoga for keeping our body strong and healthy, for healthy aging, for a healthy spine, and especially for a healthy glute, low back, and back of the leg area, which is very important for so many other aspects of healthy aging. So you're going to take your strap and you're going to make your strap bigger so that when you spread your legs now, they are pretty far. And then when you put your feet onto the ground, your feet come up to about the edge of your mat. You're really wide in your legs here. You're going to reach up, take your blanket away from the back of the head, slide your shoulder blades one side to the other. Hands are down alongside your body. Let's take an inhale. As you exhale, Activate your pelvic floor, activate your spine, press your low back into the ground, activating the core. Inhale, peel yourself up away from the floor. Exhale to lower. Close your eyes, feel your spine moving. Try to go all the way to the tip of the tail. And then beginning your exhale, contract your core, flatten your low back, squeeze your tushy, push out on your strap, and peel your spine away from the ground, one vertebra at a time, until you come above the heart, lifting the rib cage away. Exhale, or inhale, press your spine down on the ground one at a time. Or no, exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Go all the way to your tailbone. Begin to flatten the low back and peel the spine up and away. Like a snake. Last one, you're going to come up and stay. Press your arms into the ground to help lift the weight of the body away from the ground. Feet, press out on the strap. Feel how strong you are. Take one more breath. And then you're going to slowly bring yourself back down. Bring the blanket back under your head. Draw your knees in, take the strap off. Bring the strap up into the air. Put your feet in the strap. Take your legs wider than your body and then draw your legs towards your body. Knees come towards the armpits. You could do a little wiggle side to side if you'd like. Flattening the low back, massaging the low back. Pull the legs towards the wall behind you. Feel the stretch in the glutes, the hamstrings, stretching the area we just worked. And then for those that have enough flexibility, if you'd like to reach up and grab the big toes, put the 2 fingers between big toe, second toe, and pull the knees down towards the ground, towards your armpits. Or hold on to the feet, or hold on behind the thighs, or keep holding on to the strap. Let your legs go wide. Let's come out of that. So a counter position for back bending can be a twist. So we're going to go into a twist here. Let's take the block to the right. Push your feet into the floor. Keep your rib cage on the ground. Lift your pelvis up and push your pelvis over to the left, and then place your pelvis back down on the ground. Draw the knees in one at a time. Take the arms out to the side. Keep the knees pretty high towards your chest as you let the knees roll to the right. Try to keep the rib cage on the ground, and you're gonna maybe need the block between your legs or under your legs, or maybe not at all, depending on your range of motion. Knees are pointing away from you, heart points up towards the sky. So do what's appropriate for your body. You could take the right hand on top of the left thigh, and when you hold on to the left thigh, that'll allow you to really open up the lower belly a little bit more, letting the left low back move towards the ground, or the left lower ribs. Create space on your left side. Push the top left pelvis away from you. Deepen your body. That'll deepen the stretch, stretching the muscles of the core, muscles that rotate the trunk, low back muscles. Let your head roll to the left. Knees are to the right. Deep breaths to the left side of your body. Left belly, left low back, left side waist, left hip. Breathing through your nose. Practice deep breathing. Practice present moment awareness. This is the place your body heals and repairs, digests, restores, builds, heals. Take one more breath. We're going to move out of that. So moving with awareness. If we just throw ourselves around, sometimes we can get injured coming into and coming out of things, especially when we're doing this twisted rotation movement in the body. So take the block out to the side, take that top knee, bring it up higher to your chest. That'll protect the low back. And then you roll onto the low back, bringing the other knee in as well. Put your feet onto the ground, lift your pelvis up to come back to a neutral at first, and move your block to the other side. Let this come into your body, feel what that feels like. Lift your pelvis up, move your pelvis off to the right. Draw left knee in, right knee in, and let your knees slowly roll over to the left. With length in your torso. Arms are to the side. Try to keep the right shoulder blade on the ground or close to the ground. And then if you're feeling any pulling or tensioning, let your body do what it needs to do. Take your left hand on top of the right thigh, drawing that right knee down towards the left leg. Right arm is to the right. Push the top of the right pelvis and the right leg away from you with your body. Inside your body, find that length. And breathe to your right side. Right belly, right low back, right side waist. Taking one more breath. You're going to draw the right knee in, the left knee in. Put the feet on the ground. Lift your body up. Let it go back to a neutral. Let your feet go a little wide and let the knees fall in towards each other. Let your body settle. Close your eyes. Breathe down to your low back. And then draw your knees in. Come onto your side. Open up your hand, spread your hand pretty wide, and bring yourself up. Bring the blanket into the ground. So bring yourself onto all fours. Take your hands pretty far forward, moving your body side to side. And then move your body back and forward. Keep your head active, so don't let the head hang here. You could keep the neck neutral, moving forward and back. And then come to an all fours position. Palms are facing forward. Take one foot back, stretch, and then the other foot. So we're going to do a plank and we're going to add rotation to the plank. So we're going to strengthen the front of our body and we're going to add a little twisting. So I want to show you the different variations because this can be pretty intense. We're going to do 5 on each side. So a twisted plank would be full plank and then we open up with one hand off the ground. Okay, so we'll stay. So we're going to stay with one. We're going to open up and then you come down. Okay. So for some of you, you may need to be doing a modification of plank and lifting your hand up. So you're going to do whatever's appropriate for you. It's a little bit intense, pretty strong. Hands are forward. Take your feet back behind you, pretty close together here. Nice long body here. Take an exhale. And then inhale, lift your hand up and exhale down. Try to keep your hand high and open. Last one, smile. Bring yourself down. Let's go to the other side. Exhale, inhale. Last one, smile. Bring your knees down. Bring your hands forward and wide. Bend your hips, lengthen your spine. Bring yourself into a forward fold. Puppy dog. Keep the front of your spine long. Notice the heart rate. Breathe deep down to your belly. Take your hands, walk your hands over to the right. Let your head rest on the left arm. Push your hips to the left and come into a deep stretch. You feel the whole left side stretching. Bring yourself over to the left. Walk your hands over. Rest your head on your right arm. Push your hips to the right. Walk yourself back to center. And then walk yourself all the way up. Onto your shins. Take your hands down alongside your body. Push down with your hands, push down with your legs. Lengthen your spine. So as you push down, you get tall in your body. Take an exhale. Then inhale, palms are up. Let your arms lift as high as your shoulders will let you. Let your head reach up to, fingertips are reaching. Pull your ribs away from your spine. Exhale, contract your core. Bring your lower ribs towards your spine. Bring your pubis bone up towards your low ribs to protect your low back. Hands come down, chin comes to chest. Inhale to open. Lengthen. And exhale, activate your pelvic floor, activate your core. Low ribs move towards the spine, chin towards the chest. So I'm not rounding my spine, I'm keeping my upper spine in a neutral. You come into a back bend here, and then protecting the low back as you lower down, creating more trunk and core stability, stretching the back of the neck, protecting the spine, not rounding the upper spine. Bring yourself to a neutral position. Reach down and then inhale up with the other hand. Let's straight arms if you can, and if you need to bend your elbows, bend your elbows. Be long in your torso as you move side to side. Long torso. One more each side. And then bring yourself back to center. You're going to bring your foot forward. So bring a foot forward and walk it pretty far forward. Bring your hands onto your thighs. The front knee and the front hip joint are going to bend. Take an exhale. Then inhale to bring yourself forward. So bend the front knee, bend the front hip. The back leg stretches in the front of that hip. Exhale to come up. Inhale forward. Keep your throat open. Keep your heart lifted. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Come forward. You could keep your hand on your thigh and put your hand on your waist and long spine and rotate to the side, or the arm can go on the outside of that front knee, or the elbow can come on the front knee. Hands can come together. Lengthen your spine and rotate. So lengthen spine and rotated spine, body weight is forward. Keep your torso away from the top of that thigh. So you have a long spine, you're bending in your hip, that front hip joint. Breathe down to your belly. One more breath. To come up, bring yourself back onto your leg, lengthen your spine, turn yourself forward, and then bring yourself up slowly. Come all the way up. So these are some of the basic movements that we do throughout our day. Come to sit on your feet, bend your feet under, your toes under. These are some of the movements that we do every day in our body and our joints. We're loading up our joints. We're putting extra body weight in them, which is going to strengthen the joints. And now we're lengthening our spine and adding rotation. So you want to get that nice stretch to come into the joints. So bring yourself up. Bring the other leg forward. Walk it pretty far forward. Take your hands on your leg. You're going to inhale and exhale. We inhale forward because we're lengthening the psoas in this side here. We're lengthening the psoas that attaches to the low back. So this is helping to stretch the low back for those of you with low back issues. You want to make sure you're nice and long in your spine when you come forward. And you feel that stretch maybe along the belly. Inhale to come forward. Stay here. Now you have your long spine. You could take your hands here with your long spine and rotate your spine in this direction, your chest in this direction. Or you could put a hand on the waist, a hand
on the leg or on the top of the leg, long spine and rotated. Or you can come down, elbow on the outside, hands are together, long spine and rotated. Breathe down to your belly. Pulling those low ribs away from the top of the pelvis. One more breath. To come out, keep your spine nice and long. Bring yourself up. Bring yourself out. Sit on either flattened feet if you can, or bent toes if you can, or be up in a kneeling position if you need that. Checking in with your body, close your eyes, see how you feel. How does your back feel? How does your spine feel? How does your heart feel? And then go ahead and bring yourself up. So we're going to prepare for our Shavasana, final rest. Bringing your blanket on top of the mat. Getting whatever else you would like to get to bring yourself into this final rest position. So go ahead and gather whatever you need, and then we'll meet down on the ground. Shavasana is the posture that allows for the integration of everything that was just done in the practice to sink into your cells and into your soul. So find the nice, most relaxing position where you can let go, let whatever. Stay connected to your breath, let your body rest. Mouth is closed, breathing in and out through your nose. If you need to do any last minute movements, go ahead.
Kariyam kariyam Ninnameya kame Govinde mokande Udareya pare Hariyam kariyam Ninnameya kame Govinde mokande Udareya pare Hariyam kariyam Ninnameya kame Govinde mokande Udareya pare Hariyam kariyam Ninnameya kame Gently begin to let your body become aware of your breath. Feel the expansion and the contraction of the torso. Let your head roll side to side, gently. And wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bending your knees, draw your knees in one at a time, feeling your body as you do that. Rocking side to side. And then onto your side. Take your hand onto the ground, pushing yourself up to a seated position. Coming into your seated position, bring your hands together at your heart. We'll close with a gentle humming sound. Let's make space for breath. Take a big exhale, squeeze all the breath out. Take a very deep breath. In gratitude, namaste. All right. So, I hope you feel good. I feel super relaxed, yet I feel like I worked my body. So, I hope you're all feeling good. You're welcome, Michael. All right, so that's us for now. That's the fourth class of this section, this series. So we'll be here next few weeks. Come on Wednesday. Have a great day. Let me know how you're feeling. Great. You're welcome, Carolyn. All right, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.